What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas. I'm your host, and we've been doing this show now, a variation of it, for 5.5 years, and we have certain annual traditions, kind of in alignment with certain holy days. And tonight is one of my very favorite annual shows. It is our Sacred SAMHAIN show. We're approaching the end of October. Always the last few days of October and first few days of November, according to many different cultural traditions, are when the veils are thin. And so All Hallows Eve, Halloween, the Day of the Dead, Sacred Samhain, all takes place around this time. And we're going to learn about kind of some of the history of that. And we're also going to have some wonderful experiences. So we have with us a brand new guest to the Awakening World. This is Haisi, also known as Reverend Valerie Love. And wait till you see her background, all the books that she's written from many different traditions about mysticism and all the things that we're talking about tonight. So it's great to have you with us. Thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you so much, Scott, for the invitation. Thank you. I'm looking forward to this evening.
We're going to have a fun time.
We're going to have a good time.
Also with us, also virgins to the Awakening World, it's Renee and Havala. They are a wonderful couple, and they are going to also provide us with some wisdom, some information, and they're going to guide us on a ritualistic experience. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Omashar is not with us. He's in England with his mom, but we do have Diara and we do have Desiree, and they will lead prayer, and Desiree will do her energetic magic for us tonight. And even though Omashar is not with us in person, he is always with us in spirit. And through the power and magic of videos, we are still going to start the show with one of the great Omashar songs. I thought perfect for tonight as we get ready for magic. We're going to watch his video on Hypnotized. And please still move and groove and dance to the music.
Now we recognize we've been hypnotized. smell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. Love is reaching through the hearts of me and you. Our world is waking up to our different points of view, 'cause now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. So shake yourself free of the past. No longer do we walk in the dark. Let's show each other what we can do, and let our light shine right on through, and let the good of humanity stay, and let the dross simply fade away, and let the mother return to us all, so that love can have her way. 'Cause now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. Ba-da-da-da. So shake yourself free of the past. No longer do we walk in the dark.
Woo! Look at that. Oh, Mashar, you're amazing. And thank you for moving and grooving and dancing. Thank you all to Troy, Desiree, Tiara. Really appreciate you all so much for moving and grooving to the music. And I'm going to leave Desiree up for a moment, because I think she may want to do her energetic sign languaging to some of what we're going to be learning from Kaisi, also known as Reverend Valerie Love. And I'm going to, since she's new to us, I'm going to share a little bit about her background. And it's, I want to acknowledge Ariel Patricia, because she brings so many wonderful people to us. And so thank you, Ariel. Once again, she has brought us so many wonderful authors. And so we were talking probably 2 months ago, and I told her that we were going to do this show. And she said, you've got to have Reverend Valerie Love on the show. And so here we are. So thank you, Valerie, for being with us. And a little bit about her. She's the author, are you ready for this? Of 26 books on practical spirituality, magic, Christian witchcraft, and the occult, including the Christian Witchcraft Starter Kit. She just got back from traveling all around the world. She leads retreats to everywhere from Sedona, Dubai, Peru, Thailand, Cambodia, Greece, and all over the world. And you can find her at her website, valerielove.com. And of course, we'll take a look at her website a little bit later on in the show. But welcome, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ariel, Patricia, if you're watching, you know how much I love you. We're like sisters from another mister. So thank you so much.
Yeah, she's quite wonderful, isn't she?
She is. I told Ariel, I said, Spirit gave the right job to the right person because how you are able to, with so much grace, work with all of these authors, so many different people that she works with, and she is able to pull it off gracefully and have amazing creations come out of sacred stories. So it's phenomenal. It's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
highly respect her. Mhm.
So let's just start with what is Christian witchcraft?
Great question. So, I grew up in a cult, a high control cult group, Christian high control cult group. And as I was growing up and developing, it became very clear to me that I had a lot of gifts that were not welcome in that sphere. So, what I know is that there are no accidents and that we're always exactly where we're supposed to be. So, there was a reason why I was in that space. And there was a reason also for me to go through the depression that I went through that almost took me out with a bottle of pills. Oh my goodness. It was a really deep, dark depression. It was a soul awakening, it was a spiritual awakening. And I was realizing that I could no longer stay where I was, that I had to do something different because the idea of taking my own life with a bottle of pills scared me. It really scared me. So I knew I had to make a decision. And it was right around the Saturn return, right around that 28, 29 years old when we have that really earth-shattering experience and we get to make a choice. We get to say, okay, how am I going to conduct myself until my next Saturn return? And so I made the choice to leave behind everything that I had grown accustomed to, everything that I knew, everything that was familiar, and venture out on this spiritual path. Had no idea where it was going to take me, had no idea that I would even wind up talking to people about Christian witchcraft, no idea about any of that. And so, as I began studying, at first I began studying with Buddhism, and I just studied so many different things because my soul was waking up, and I was reading all of these things I was never allowed to read when I was in the religious construct. And so, eventually, I saw myself going to Barnes and Noble and I started to read books that were spiritual in nature. And then I started to be drawn to tarot and I was drawn to Wicca and books on herbs and potions. And I thought to myself, from my Christian background, oh my goodness, my soul is going to the dark side. Is this the devil getting me? I was afraid. I look back at it now and I kind of chuckle at my yesterday self, yet it was very real for me in that moment during that phase when I was moving from that very high control cult group and strict rules. It felt like shackles for me. And I was moving out of that and coming into a broader understanding of the spiritual world, of tarot, Wicca, and it just drew to it like moths on a flame. So that's when I discovered that I had an inner witch during this period. And I was going deep within, I was meditating, I was having all these spiritual experiences. My senses were awakening, gifts coming alive. And then I got to this point where there was the witch on one side and the Christian on the other. Because I had my Christian upbringing that told me, oh my goodness, the witch, that's evil, that's devil, that's terrible, you shouldn't do that. And the witch was on the other side saying, hey, grab your power, stand up, create, heal, teach. You're one with nature, you love nature. Come on, let's rock and roll. And there was a standoff inside of me. There was a standoff that was very difficult to navigate. And so I remember having a conversation with Lord Christ. We have many ascended masters, right? Lord Krishna, Kuan Yin, Lord Buddha, many ascended masters. Well, I was having a conversation with Lord Christ, the Ascended Master, because I guess that's the one that I was closest to because that was the one I grew up with. And he said, "You don't have to throw me away because you remembered you're a witch." And I thought, and the standoff started to melt, that it wasn't that I was supposed to get rid of one or the other. It was an integration that was supposed to happen. And the integration is natural because there is no true divide or separation between the witch and Christianity. It's an artificial separation, and we can prove it with our wheel of the year, as some Wiccans would call it. And if we look at the Christian year and all of the major celebrations in the Christian year, and you look at the witches' year and the celebrations in the witches' year, they line up perfectly. So that wisdom that I received from Lord Christ, that you don't have to throw out everything you had in your Christian world. You got that Christian foundation for a reason. You integrate that, you carry that with you, you bring it with you forward into what you're going to experience in this next iteration of your spirituality. So it taught me in spirituality not to try to get rid of things, not to throw away things, to integrate things and to be in a place of acceptance and appreciation, even for my journey that I had not been in before. I didn't appreciate that I had been in this high cult group. I was mad. I'm still angry about that. So if I'm angry, how can I come to a higher state of consciousness? So that began, I did a ritual, and it was a 40-day ritual. And it was a very intensive ritual to integrate, to have a marriage of my witch and my Christian. And out of that was born Christian witchcraft for me. Now, you can imagine that when I first started talking about Christian witchcraft, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, if they already burned the witches and hung the witches and drowned the witches, they're really going to come for me now. That this is going to be it. They're going to come for me because being a Christian witch, wow, is this the height of blasphemy or what? This is trouble right here, right? And so I had to push all that aside and I went forward anyway. And I have a YouTube channel where I get to teach. I've taught millions of people over 16 years in YouTube. And there in the YouTube channel, I talked about being a Christian witch. Now, you can imagine some people were not happy about that, which is okay. It is a-okay. And here were some people that said, I was feeling the same way. I'm in church and I love church and I love crystals too. I'm in church and I also love tarot. I'm in church and I want to learn how to make potions. I'm in church and I love the metaphysical store. So I found a whole tribe of people who also had a Christian background who love stretching into things that heretofore were dark, evil, occult, don't go there, that's harmful. We were willing to stretch past the boundaries that we were given. They're artificial anyway, yes? Love pressed us past those so that we could expand into being fuller beings. And I found so many people across the globe that were having the same experience I was having. And it was shocking to me. So when it was time to write the book, I got it as an inspiration during COVID. During COVID, I got the inspiration because we were all quiet, right? We were home. We were in a global meditation, I call it. And I got the inspiration to write How to Be a Christian Witch because so many people were asking me, well, how do I do this? How is it that we become Christian witches? What do we do? And I had no idea. I knew what I did. I didn't know how to teach other people how to do it. So I sat down and I said, okay, Spirit, show me. Show me what to do. And it channeled, and the book came out, was written, edited, cover design, and published within 30 days. Done. And it amazed me that the book instantly sold like hotcakes, instantly sold like hotcakes.
Mm.
And it also amazed me that since that book has been released, hundreds of reviews on Amazon, people love the book, and it's a cutting edge book, and people buy it every day. That book sells just about every single day. And what is the most, I guess, shocking to me about this is I never knew there were so many Christian witches in the world. Who knew that there was so many Christian witches? Who knew there were so many people having a similar experience to what I was having? Who knew that there were so many Christians who were really wanting to find out about crystals and astrology and tarot and how to make a potion and wands and spells and rituals, herbs, healing with nature, moon cycles, Samhain, sacred Samhain. Who knew? And here we are. So, Scott, that was a kind of long answer to your question. Did that answer your question of how I got started on this path of being a Christian witch? Trust me, I never saw it coming, and I could not have thought my way through it or figured it out. It was Spirit's guidance for me.
Well, it's a wonderful way to get to know you. And Desiree, I'm really enjoying watching you as well. So thank you. And as Dr. Laura said in the chat box, she just wrote, cool. This makes me feel great that Christians are embracing the mystical. And I think that's true. I think that you hit a zeitgeist, which is that people that are more awake and not just attached to the religion they grew up with or in repulsion or rejection of the religion they grew up with, but are willing to embrace different ways of thinking. Obviously, I think many of us are recognizing a need to come back to the earth and embrace the earth. And certainly the witches that I've known well, that I've had on the show or that I've known personally, are very connected to Mother Earth, Gaia.
Mhm.
And we all need to go in that direction. So, Desiree, are you okay with still doing for a while? Okay, great. So please tell us, why is this time of year, end of October, beginning of November, why is this a time that so many cultures celebrate connecting to loved ones on the other side? What's that all about?
Mm, I love this question. Scott, I am about to say something, Scott and friends, I'm about to say something that may be very shocking. On Wednesday, October 29th of 2014, exactly 11 years ago today. Do you love the synchronicity? Here we are at master number 11 years later. I went to a meeting of the most excellent order of the Black Hat, a group of witches. And it was a witchy Wednesday just before Samhain. And we're sitting around in the circle at Sticks and Stones in Virginia. That's the name of the metaphysical shop, the witchy shop, where the most excellent order of the Black Hat met every witchy Wednesday. And here we are sitting in the circle, and we're talking about Samhain. We're talking about the thousands of years that went before us, of our forebears, our ancestors, lighting fires, harvesting, reaping the harvest, bringing in pumpkins and gourds and apples, making stews, making delicious hot drinks, yes, making pies and all of the wonderful autumn foods that we get to just nourish our souls with. They're so warm and they're spicy at the same time, right? Those apple ciders and the pumpkin pies and the sweet potato pies. And I hope I'm not making anyone hungry right now, but you get
You
my
are, you
drift.
are.
Right? You get my drift, yes? And so we just love this. And here we are sitting around in the circle. And they said, and so we're getting ready for our dumb supper this weekend. And I said, what's a dumb supper? And they all looked at me like, girly girl, because these were like real, dyed in the wool, been witches for decades witches, okay? These were witches that have been witches for the longest. And I had never heard of a dumb supper before. I had never really understood the significance of this window of opportunity we receive each year, October 31st, November 1st, of when the portal opens and we have a glimpse to the other side. And it's easy. You don't even have to be a medium or a psychic to be able to easily commune with ancestors, spirits on the other side who love you and whom you love. And so they took me through the whole process of the ritual of the dumb supper. And it was called dumb because many years ago, people who could not speak were called dumb. So I prefer to call it the Feast of the Dead. That's what I call it now, Feast of the Dead. And it basically is a seance with a meal. That's the simple version. And in the course, speaking of Ariel, Patricia, in the book Witch, I do talk about Secret Stories Publishing in the Common Sentience book series. I do speak and teach about the Dumb Supper in the book. And then in the course that was just released, there's this, I prepare the whole thing. So you'll see. But I'm going to give you a visual of it. So the Dhamma Supper is all about creating this incredible feast that is prepared for you and the ancestors. Now, it's not any and all ancestors. It is the ancestors that you are specifically calling for an intentional purpose. For example, let's say you had an uncle who was a whiz at business, and you have a business and you have some business questions you'd like to ask him. The ancestors are so practical. That's what I love about them. Just like if they are here with you in a body, they are here with you in spirit all the time, all around you. They never left you. You know, Maya Angelou used to say when she was in this life, now she's our beloved ancestor, and she's an ancestor to many people, not just the children that she birthed, that I come as one and I stand as 10,000. So each of us look like one person, you stand as 10,000. There are thousands of forebears that existed before you that produced you. And in the ATRs, African traditional religions, you cannot reach God except through your ancestors. So ancestor veneration is a must in the spiritual practice. I'll give you this little tidbit from Nigeria. In Nigeria, cemeteries and graveyards were unheard of, long time ago in Yoruba land. Long time ago, cemeteries were unheard of and graveyards were unheard of because every deceased relative was buried right on the land of the house. So you come out and buried right under the front of the house to the left could be grandma. Coming right out, buried right there at the doorstep of the house to the right, buried could be grandpa. And you come out, you say, "Hi, grandma, hi, grandpa." They lived with their dead. Imagine that. They abided with their dead. Yet in some Western cultures, we more kind of put death away. We kind of segregate the living from the dead, whereas our ancestors, they didn't have that artificial separation. The living and the dead were integrated in many cultures, not just Nigeria, many cultures. I'm speaking of my own ancestry, part of my ancestry, which is Scottish and Nigerian, and I have ancestry from Benin, Togo, and Mali. So our ancestors, our forebears, no matter where your ancestors are from, it was common to have the living and the dead integrated. We didn't put our dead somewhere far off and forget about them. They were living entities living through us and with us, and that's what we get to remember every Samhain, or if we call it Day of the Dead, or if we call it All Hallows Eve, All Souls, All Saints. That's what they call it in the Christian tradition, right? All Hallows, All Souls, All Saints. And so when we look at the traditions of our families, our forebears, we understand that death is very important to the cycle of life. We have life, death, rebirth. Death is a necessary aspect of it, and all of us will become ancestors one day, right? All of us will join with our ancestors in that realm. And then we will have the power and the privilege to pass our wisdom through the veil to our offspring. So I learned all about the dumb supper, and I said, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have this feast. So imagine Thanksgiving that you invite certain ancestors to, or doesn't have to be an ancestor. It could be a beloved child. It could be a beloved pet on the other side. It could be anyone on the other side you desire to connect with. It could be a spiritual giant on the other side, like Wayne Dyer. I love the spirit of Wayne Dyer because he actually helps me a lot with writing, because Wayne Dyer was a prolific writer. And I know I have probably a good 100 or more books in me. And Wayne Dyer is a spiritual ancestor to many people. So the ancestors don't have to be specific to you in your bloodline. You also have spiritual ancestors. And when we consider that we can talk to anyone in spirit realms, that is your right and your privilege as an infinite being. You can speak to anyone in spirit realms. Then that is the time to do it this weekend. So take that time, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd, to honor the spirits of the dead.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. It's a great start to the show. And Kaisi is going to be back a little bit later. And we've got some questions that have already come in. I do want you to know that Carol Craig already went through the photo gallery of your travels on your website. And she writes, Kaishi, you look like so much fun with your group. As an expat who lived overseas for 17 years, I'm good at seeing authentic experiences. I'm looking forward to seeing your Zoom meeting on Sunday, as I lived in Egypt for 3 years. And we'll learn a little bit more about what Valerie is doing on Sunday when she comes back onto the show. So thank you so much, Valerie, also known as Kaisi. We'll see you in a little bit. Well, how are you doing, Desiree? You good? Okay, well, we got two wonderful people, and this is Renee and Habla, and they were both introduced to me by my very dear friend, Katrina Valancourt. So, Katrina, if you're watching, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And I'm gonna accept myself, but I'm gonna briefly share with the audience just a little bit about each of you. Habla is a singer and sound healer, and we're going to hear her play music in a little bit. And she's a wisdom keeper, anointed as the fairy seer by Orion Foxwood. She began hearing sacred chants while in nature at age 19, and she's been leading rituals incorporating songs from the spirits of the land for interfaith and pagan communities since 1997. She offers virtual transformational coaching for women, and she's actually offering a complimentary consultation, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in the show. And then Renee is her partner and a magician, mystic, and spiritual singer-songwriter with over 30 years of study in the occult sciences. He's a lifelong student of Qigong and magical traditions from all across East and West. He blends movement, ritual, and music to awaken spiritual intelligence. He's an author, wrote a book called Way of the Magical Intelligence and also Magical Qigong, Awakening the Dragon. So you're the perfect pair to be with us tonight. And same question, what can you share with us about this particular time of year?
Well, I want to give kudos to Kaisha. I don't think I could add any more to what she just did, especially for the dumb supper. I guess I want to piggyback on that to your question. What makes this day, this particular time of the year, causing the thinning of the veils? I guess the best example that I could use is to talk about the relationship between the sun and the earth. there is the thing called the pagan wheel of the year, which as pagans and magicians we follow to guide our life processes and guide our careers and guide our spiritual development. If you were to notice what happens this time of the year, which is the fall, everything goes within. The sap that was preeminently active in the spring is now reversed. It's gone within. The leaves are starting to fall. And so since there's less sunlight, there's more of that decay that's happening. Something is ending. Well, during that process, the way that the sun hits our pituitary gland activates how awake we are. So more sun, like in the summer and the spring, we're hyper, right? But then when we get to the fall, we're kind of lulled in a little bit of the sleep. And there the concept of the thinning of the veil in the relationship between the interaction with the sun and how we're entering into a trance-like state. And that thinning of the veil is usually, as way that I see it, through the various traditions that we follow, we can anchor that experience of thinning of the veil to the process of how we're in a lulled state. In this trance state, almost dreamlike, the psychic ability is much more prevalent. We're from a high level of high activity of consciousness to just dipping below the waters of awareness. And underneath the waters of the awareness, you find the ancestors hanging out, partying, and saying, hey, we're here. Get the table set, baby. We're going to eat.
Beautiful. Now, question, do you believe that all ancestors are available, or do some stay in a way that they connect with us and others kind of move on and are not so available?
Well, in the traditions that we follow, the answer to that is a combination of yes. Remember, we come to this life to learn lessons, and how well you learn your lessons will determine where you are and what choices you can make. During the death process, we enter into kind of it's a little better than, no different than dreaming, right? And so can you wake up in the dream state, right? That's the key. So if you're so those individuals will stay, that is awakened or redeemed ancestors, we would call them. And those that are having a little bit of a problem, we refer to them sometimes as what we call dark decease from the Egyptian tradition that I also follow. And those individuals need a little bit of help, right? And so the redeemed will often use their godlike abilities to assist the families and people. Hence, you have your Wayne Dwyers and your Jesuses. Those are exalted ancestors. And then you have some that are having a little bit of a problem. And the lessons that you learn in life, they will also learn too, especially if they connect with you. So that is a fundamental reaction or relationship that we have. There are some that will leave. They're like, yeah, I'm going to a whole other level. I think I'm going to go to another planet. And they go. And sometimes they come back depending upon whether or not a piece of their bone is still connected to this planet. Hence the concept of bones, and why ancient fingers of saints are venerated, because there's a beacon between the bones and the soul. And sometimes people may say, we need that soul to come back. And they would use the bone energy or to enter into conversation with that spirit, no matter where they are in the universe. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. A question for you, Havilah. Fascinating that you channeled the sacred chants. Do you believe that these were kind of sometimes coming from your ancestors, kind of singing to you, and you were tuned in and picking it up?
No, I think that it came. Great question. I have always felt that the earth was singing through me.
Tell us more. What's that? How do you experience that?
It just comes in as one fell swoop. So basically, I lived growing up in rural Wisconsin, and I spent a lot of my childhood out in the woods and in nature, singing and connecting with everything there, and just being very much at one with nature, with the, always being at wonder by the insects and the ladybugs and the bunnies and just everything, the trees, the sun, the moon, and being connected that deeply to the earth when I turned 19 and I started to kind of go out on my own and spend a lot of time in these new woods among redwood trees, which were new for me. Redwood trees and eucalyptus trees in Presidio Park City. Is that what it's called? Presidio Park in San Francisco. That's when all the songs came to me, and I would be walking in nature, kind of mind empty, and then the whole song would come in, the words, the melody, the feeling, the vibe, like all of it all at once. So literally as I'm walking, the song's coming through my voice as I'm hearing it, as it's being downloaded, I guess some people would say. I never got a sense that they were from ancestors. It's possible that they had a hand in all of that. But my sense has always been that these were spirit songs directly from Mother Nature and from perhaps like my higher self as well.
Okay. Dr. Laura writes, Havala, I also would sing out in nature all of the time as well. And Susan Bloomquist has a question for you all. It seems that similar experiences happen in a family line. Do the ancestors mold your journey?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yes, they do. The ones that are awakened, definitely, because the whole concept here, it's really no different than a parent looking after their children, except now you've got centuries to help guide them and mold them. And many times an ancestor will incarnate into a bloodline to keep the lessons going. This is particularly true of African traditions, where they, as Kaishi said, they will bury the person next to them. Well, they're probably going to come back in a couple of lifetimes, to help with the evolution of the family line. So yeah.
And also the ancestors can affect us negatively, not necessarily, not that that's their plan or intention, but when you have a challenge in life or a pattern that no matter what you do, it just doesn't seem like you can get past it or fix it or change it or transform it into something better and different. It can be an ancestral challenge that was started many ancestors back. And so we also in our fairy seership tradition that we are both students from and now anointed by Orion Foxwood, our beloved teacher, he also really focuses on ancestral healing as the basis for any magic work. Because if we're not healed and clean ourselves, how can we call in these other energies and helpers in a clean way, right? And we want to make sure our own hearts are pure and that we've dealt with our challenges and frustrations and fears and all that stuff. So for me, personal development is actually a really incredible way to shift ancestral challenges that keep passing on. And there are a lot of different ways to address that, but it's just something I wanted to share because
And Susan asks, how does a person deal with this then when you're having that, ancestral challenges as you're describing? What are some solutions?
There are a lot of shamanic practices that can help if you have a teacher or a guide that can hold that space for you. Like we have had with our teachers, Orion Foxwood, and now we can do the same for others in ceremonies. But yeah, there's a lot of different shamanic practices and witchcraft practices that are helpful for that. And there's something called soul retrieval, which helps bring aspects of your soul that have kind of split off during trauma to come bring those back. I once had a memory doing just a therapy session with somebody who was like a somatic special kind of therapist, who I remembered being stabbed in the back in the past, not in this lifetime, and it was because of my wealth. And money has been like the bigger challenge for me in my life. And I remembered, and this was just a few years ago, literally, as I was saying, never again will I be wealthy because I don't want to die like this again.
Right.
So like those never agains, or I will always, when you're dying, can be really a challenge for yourself and your customers. So
Right.
it's really powerful to work with a professional who knows how to navigate those territories. There are a lot of different ways. One other way I'll mention is going to the river of blood to redeem your own ancestors, and that is really holy, sacred work, and that is another basis for what we do in the fairy seership work.
And one of the things that I just want to piggyback on that is that everybody has the ability to heal their ancestral line. Everybody on this call, and there are many, as Havla says, every tradition has their way of doing it. We do the River of Blood from Orion Foxwood. I also will, depending upon the person, I'll use the ancient Egyptian tradition, which has 11 levels of reality, which is 11 levels of how God works in the universe. And your job is to understand and learn the lessons from each of those levels. And so if you take the time to learn your lessons, then your ancestor that is having a hard time will learn that lesson too, and then be free to go. So everybody here has the ability to regenerate and heal their entire line.
Well, I have to say I have a strong belief that kind of goes along with this I want to riff on. And by the way, Susan Bloomquist is thanking you. She says your responses to her questions have been very helpful.
Oh, good.
I have a belief that our ancestors, for the most part, made incredible sacrifices for us to live the lives that we have today. And we have to recognize that for many of our ancestors, they crossed the plains, they fought in the wars, they died in the wars, they worked 3 jobs, they lived on potatoes. I mean, really hard lives. And they have one dream, a better life for their offspring, which is us. And so I do believe that then we pay it back by using the freedom and the abundance that we have and the privileged lives that we have to work on the ancestral trauma, because they couldn't deal with their alcoholism or their low self-esteem or their, cycle of domestic violence. They just couldn't. They didn't have the tools. They didn't have the freedom. They were too in survival. But we're not in survival anymore. And so we pay it back by working through our epigenetic history and whatever our ancestral healing might be. Does that go along with kind of where?
That's
Yes.
perfectly. I love it.
Yeah.
Everything you said.
One of my teachers, the Shechem Shechem, who's one of my main teachers over in Brooklyn, New York, talked a lot about how the importance of a lot of time our cultural line, which sheds a lot of blood, we have to make sure that we respect that line or that tradition, and therefore we get the blessings of that tradition. And so honoring that line, not just healing, but honoring the line of the sacrifices that our ancestors did. So it's always good to have a candle lit every, and call on your dad and great auntie, and even those ancestors that are not blood related as well. So yeah.
Beautiful. And Desiree somehow managed to also type in, she says, I love this. My meditation this morning was about uniting with the ancestors.
So I'm going to add just a little bit to that.
Yeah.
You see my background?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, now I see it. Oh, I didn't see the
Oh,
picture.
yeah.
So redeemed.
Oh, wow.
Well, the meditation was calling in the ancestors and connecting them together as one. And as I did that, I saw the 2 mountains and the rainbow go across it. And we just exploded out all that energy. And I was like, we're here to help everybody. Now, I don't know what you were talking about tonight. I've never heard of it. So this is way more exciting to me.
Oh
my gosh.
I love your excitement, and that is wonderful. And that's amazing that you created that backdrop for tonight.
Beautiful.
Can I share a very brief story about what that makes me think of?
Yeah.
Please.
So my husband and I, Renee and I, led with the Wisdom Council the Starlit Well, which is a group of people that we were doing full moon ceremonies every full moon for 6 years at Topanga Beach right before COVID hit. And we had both of our children there. They were pretty young. and it was Samhain, and we did a ceremony. We called in our ancestors, and at the end, or maybe the middle of the ritual, our son Zachary came over to us and he said, I could see a whole circle of ancestors around your circle in the outside circle.
Yeah.
So he literally could see them, which, you know, he doesn't typically have that gift, but at that time, because the veil is the thinnest, he absolutely saw them. And it's dark, it's by the ocean, the full moon, like what perfect setting to be able to have that kind of inner vision.
And how old is he?
He's 20 now, but he was probably 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there.
Around 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
he was 9 years old.
For a couple of years by then.
Well, just to move things along, it's about time for music, and I understand you've got a musical offering for us.
Yes. So I've channeled some, like Havla. I've channeled some songs from the ancestors, and a lot of the songs. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So some of the songs that have been channeled, I do as a ceremony. So after every concert or whenever we do a ceremony, I always do an ancestor song. And this song is it's Ashe. Basically, it's Nigerian for blessing. And I'm going to call in some ancestors, and on some level, I don't know if I can see everybody in the main chat. I haven't seen any. At some level, I would love to be able to call in anybody that you would like to be here this evening. If I can see them, you can put in the name of a person that you would like to be called in for this evening. And I'm going to go ahead and start the song. It's called Libation.
So you want people to put their names of their ancestors that you want them to be able to invite in here in the chat.
In the chat.
Okay. Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah. I'm hoping I can get, but I'll start off with some ones that I always call. Well, I'd like to take this moment to recognize all my heroes that passed to the other side. And then I'll call them one by one underneath the moon and sun to bless this night. And I shall call them all by name. And when you hear them, please say, Ashe. Bob Marley, I'll be here today, Ashe. Ella Fitzgerald, I'll be here today, Ashe. Peter Tosh, I'll be here today, Ashe. Lady Day, I'll be here today, Ashe. Johnny Collins, I'll be here today, Ashe. My man Tupac, I'll be here today, Ashe. Oh, we need your voices more than ever before. Oh, we need your voices more than ever before. Yes, we need your voices more than ever before. Yes, we need your voices more than ever before. I shake a little bit, doop, doop, doo, hey. Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo. Dooba deepa down, hey. Skilla dooba 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 deepa dum, deepa dooba dee dum dum. Skiba dee dum dum, skiba deep deep steep, steeby deep dum, hey. Skilla dap deep, skiby dap dap, ooh. Skilla deepa doop dooba doop doop. Call Grandma Agnes, say, I'll be here today, Ashay. Calling Darky, I'll be here today, Ashay. Larry Lucky, I'll be here today, Ashay. John Sadler, hey, I'll be here today, Ashay. Calling Tina Tiny
And Donna,
I'll be here today, Ashay. Calling Grandma and Wesley, I'll be here today, Ashay. Calling Mama Dell, I'll be here today, Ashay. Rosemary Peters, Grandma, I'll be here today, Ashay. Dennis and Uncle Bill, hey, I'll be here today, Ashay. Grandma Edith and my dogs, I'll be here today, Ashay. Calling Aunt Esther, hey, I'll be here today, Ashay. Calling Fran and Relda, I'll be here today, Ashay. Rosemary, Margaret, and Anna, I'll be here today, Ashay. Claire and Mountain Mike and Barry, I'll be here today, Ashay. Buckminster Fuller, hey, I'll be here today, Ashay. Next one.
Wayne Dyer.
Rain Dyer, yeah, I'll be here today, Ashay.
Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall.
Jane Goodall, I'll be here today, Ashay. Martin Luther King and Gandhi too, I'll be here today, Ashay. After 10,
Oh, sorry.
10,
Rhea, Stephen, Elvira.
I'll be
Vicky.
here today, Ashay. Calling all parents, relatives, and pets,
And friends.
I'll be here today, Ashay. J.K. Tishnan, I'll be here today, Ashay. I'm Ariel, Dad Nick, and beloved Scroochie, I'll be here today, Ashay. All I hear today, Ashay. And Jim Crawford too, Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh, if I didn't
Beautiful.
get you,
Dennis Banks, be here today.
I didn't
Diane
know.
Keaton.
I'm trying to be
here
cognizant
today.
of time,
We got everybody.
Scott. I hope I got it as much
I
as
just
I
added
could.
the last few.
I appreciate that. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
And we're going to go to gallery view. I'll give them some twinkles and some love and appreciating how we're calling in all of our beloved ancestors. And they're both going to be back in a little bit. We're just about halfway through the show. And thank you both so much. That was awesome. Just perfect. Perfect. Well, we've got something kind of fun. Some of you may remember this way back when we started the show during COVID, a lot of COVID conversation in the chat box tonight. One of our favorite presenters was Jeff McBride. Jeff is one of the most really popular, world-famous magicians. And I've developed a nice friendship with him when I've gone to Las Vegas. I've been to his home. He and his wife have made dinner for me. And he's turned his house actually into a museum of magic. Jeff McBride is generally considered to be the top sleight of hand magician in Las Vegas. He taught David Copperfield and Siegfried and Roy how to do sleight of hand. So he's been around quite a while. And he created this video just for us. So I hope that you will enjoy it. Here's Jeff McBride.
Good evening, friends. It is time to celebrate Samhain, Halloween, the Celtic New Year, with some tricks and some treats. An answer once and for all. Which is quicker, the hand or the eye? Which is quicker, the hand or the eye? Looks like the eyes have it. And good evening. Happy Halloween, Global Peace Tribe. It is yours truly, Jeff Magnus McBride here with some sleight of hand magic for this trick-or-treat season. Now, I know that many of you have been spending your hard-earned money on candy. Well, the hand is quicker than the eye. Here is a little trick, and here is a little treat, one of my favorites. And welcome. This is a time when the veil between this world and the spirit world is the thinnest. It is the time to connect with our ancestors and to show them our gratitude for giving us our lives, and to connect with the spirits of the land, the spirits of nature. You see, the trees are alive, and the trees have stories to tell us. Tonight, we shall step back in time, 2,000 years ago, to the Celtic Islands, to the land of my ancestors, the Druids. Now, I know I don't look Druish, but indeed I am. And inside of this little purse, I have what is perhaps the world's greatest illusion. Would you like to see the world's greatest illusion? Yes? Yes?
Yes.
This is the world's greatest illusion. Money. That's right. People steal, they cheat, they die for what? For money. But what is money made from? That's right. It's made from paper. And where does paper come from? That's right. It comes from trees. The trees are alive, and the trees have secrets to tell. The Druids, my ancestors, used to worship the symbol of the tree. The tree, its roots in the ground and its branches stretching towards the heaven, connecting heaven to earth. The trees were alive, and the trees were magic. And thousands of years ago, the Druid priests would cut a single branch from an oak tree to create their magic wand, to weave their magic spells. The trees are alive and have secrets to tell. But over the years, humankind started cutting down the trees till not one sacred grove was left in all of the sacred lands to print money. And once the tree is cut down, the soul leaves the tree. Let me just tear this bill. And you cannot taste the fruit of the tree, although you can taste the mint of the bill. But it doesn't nourish, it doesn't sustain life. And once we've cut down our last sacred tree to print our last worthless dollar, we'll be living in a world of our own illusion unless we remember that each and every one of us is the magician in our own lives to transform not only ourselves, but the world around us, and to re-enchant nature. O sacred tree of the sacred earth, older than time can tell, grant me the power at your command to charge this magic spell. Money is an illusion. Trees are alive, and trees are magic. They have stories to tell. I'm Jeff McBride. Happy Samhain.
Now, wasn't that fun? I'm going to go to Gallery View and let's all send Jeff McBride in Las Vegas some appreciation. It was really, really, really fun. All right, thank you. Well, I am going to bring back, now we're going to bring back our presenters, and starting off again, Kaisi coming back. Welcome back, Kaisi.
Thank you so much. That was so much fun. And oh my goodness, I love that song. Ashe, it's going to be ringing in my spirit tonight as I fall asleep. I love that song. I love it.
Yeah, it was really, really wonderful. So this is a good time for questions, any questions that people might have. But I'd love to start off with a question for you. What do you suggest as a way, a ritual for us to connect? Not tonight, because we're going to do a little ritual with Renee and Havilah, but, later this weekend, what would you describe as a ritual or a practice for us to do to connect with loved ones on the other side?
Well, I love the ritual of the Dumb Supper. So it would be good to practice it on the 31st, October 31st. This is when I usually do my ritual of the Dumb Supper. And it can be done as simply or as lavishly as you desire. The key is that we are connecting intentionally with specific ancestors. So it's not like we throw the door open to the spirit world and say, come one, come all. It really is an intentional calling of the ones that we desire to most connect with now. And the way that a dumb supper or feast of the dead is what I call it, the way that we set that up is we start with purification. So you might do it in your dining room, you may do it in your kitchen, any place where you have a table and chairs. And as we clear the space, like you would normally with sage or Palo Santo, or if you wanted to do sort of a spray with Florida water or rosemary essential oil. And once we purify the space and clear out anything and everything, then we start to prepare for this ritual, this feast of the dead. And one of the key aspects of the ritual is that it's conducted in complete silence. So once the table is set and the food is set on the table, then the lights go out, the candles are lit, and the entire meal is eaten in silence. And in silence, you are listening deeply to the voices of those whom you have invited to this dinner. Another important aspect of this is that when you set the table, we set the table in reverse for the ancestors. So if I was sitting on this side of the table and my grandmother and mother were sitting on the opposite side of the table, whom I've called in a couple of my Feast of the Dead rituals, then we would make the ancestor place setting. We set a place for each ancestor. You would make the ancestor place setting a mirror image of your place setting, unlike how we would normally set the table for a feast. So normally if we set the table for a feast and the fork is on the right and the knife and spoon is on the left, each person as we go around, the fork is on the right, the knife and spoon is on the left. Not so with the ancestral world, since the ancestral world is a mirror, the spirit world is a mirror of this world. And so you imagine putting a mirror there and seeing, oh, I've got to put, if my fork is on the left, I've got to put grandma's fork on the right, and vice versa. So you set the ancestral table, and then what I do in my ritual of the dumb supper is I buy foods and drinks my grandmother and mother loved. So whomever you're calling, if Uncle Johnny likes this particular scotch, or if grandma likes this particular kind of coffee, that's what you bring. This is another way of bringing ancestral altars. It's very common in the ATRs, African traditional religions, to have an ancestral plate every time we eat. Sometimes if you go out with African people, you'll see them grab a plate and just put the plate in the middle, and everyone will take a bit off of their plate of their food and put it on the plate in the middle. The ancestors eat first, and then we eat, because without the ancestors, we wouldn't be here. And so we have this meal, it's in complete silence, and you are going to commune psychically, telepathically with the spirits of those who came before you. It is so enriching and it is so beautiful. Now, once you've concluded the ritual and you come to completion, it's a natural completion, as this is a spiritual process. Then you discard of the ancestral plate in nature. We never just toss it in the trash. We take the plate and the food and we place it. It could be placed at the foot of a tree. It could be buried in the earth. So we take the plate of food and we put the food in nature. Maybe critters will enjoy it and come eat it, or nature herself will gobble it up. And that is how we dispose of our ancestral food. We never throw it in the trash. And so this is a ritual that is anyone can do. Anyone can do a ritual of the dumb supper, or as I call it, Feast of the Dead. And it is so rewarding, It's so fulfilling to commune in silence with the candles burning with your ancestors and receiving those answers to life questions that they have. They have answers for you, and you can receive those answers.
Beautiful. I've got some comments and some questions. Tiara writes, yes, I just bought a whole bunch of family tradition food and cooked it in their honor. I love this, Casey. Thank you. And
Oh, that's
Carol
beautiful.
Craig writes, my husband never took a drink from his beer without pouring a little out for the ancestors. Um, a couple of questions for you from Andrea. She asks, I'd like to know your practice of writing a book. Do you do any rituals before writing? Do you write every day? Do you self-publish? Do you give workshops on writing books? I have so many books inside of me, but I never get to writing them because I'm focused on my business and marketing. And I've been wanting to write a book for over 30 years.
Wow, these are excellent questions. So, to answer the questions, do I have rituals and do I write every day? Yes, and yes. I write every day. And usually I write somewhere in the 5 o'clock hour. So, I wake up very early in the morning, and before I even brush my teeth or make the bed, right after I do my meditation, my spiritual practice, I go straight to the computer and write. Because if I get distracted here, there, and everywhere, I will not get to the writing. So the writing gets done early in the morning. That way I know that it's done. Some of the rituals that I have for writing is actually stillness and quiet for a while, deep breathing, and then I go into the writing. Now, it depends on what I'm writing because I write both fiction and nonfiction. So if I'm writing nonfiction, then I do have research there, I have notes and things like that. And I usually pick up where I left off the day before. If I'm writing fiction, because I'm writing a series of novels, I actually don't type out those books at all. This is a hack for everyone who wants to write a book and write a book fast. And yes, I teach this in writing workshops, and I have a book writing group right now. So if you email me, I'll give you the information on getting into that class. Uh, the hack that I teach is that you can speak your book. So not everyone is good at sitting down and pecking all the, words. The thought of writing out 75,000 to 80,000 words or 100,000 words, which is a book, is very daunting to some people, and rightly so. It's kind of a crazy endeavor when you think about it, that you're going to sit down and you're going to write an entire book, right? You're going to write an entire book. That's a big endeavor. So what I teach and what I do actually is I speak the book. And the way that you can speak it is you can turn on any recording on your phone or just speak it into any recording device that you have and just speak it. Speak it in a way that you would write, because the speaking voice and the writing voice are two different voices. So speak it in the way that you would write. And then I use AI on a platform called Happy Scribe. I don't make any money from Happy Scribe. I'm just happy to tell you about Happy Scribe. That is what I use to transcribe my audio into a PDF. And there you can speak an entire book. So hopefully that takes down a lot of the resistance, that you can write a book without writing. You can actually just speak your book. And I find that many people have a lot more success speaking their book than they do typing their book. Did I get all the answers to the questions? Were there more questions?
There are more. There's a question about what the tattoos that you have represent and why on your throat.
Yes. So this tattoo on my throat is a Vishuddha. It means essentially pure. It is the throat chakra symbol. I have sacred symbols all over me. And then this one is the butterfly, which is the symbol of extreme transformation, transmutation. But on this arm, I have an Ankh with a heart. Ankh is the flower of life, an original cross with a heart. And this means life eternal, peace, and love. And then on this arm, I got this in Peru, and most people will recognize this as sort of the cosmology of the underworld and the apus and the earth. So the upper world, Gaia and the underworld, according to those that live in Peru, more like Aztec kind of uh, thought, cosmology. Then on my right ankle, I have a Sankofa, which is a Dinkra symbol from the people of Ghana, which also is my heritage in Ghana. And it means go back and fetch it. Or in other words, pluck the wisdom from the past and bring forward only the wisdom of painful experiences and none of the pain, and move forward only with the wisdom of the past. And then I have two hearts on my feet. One says faith, one says trust, so that I move forward in faith and trust. So I have quite a few sacred symbols on me. And then I have a couple of reminders here of my sacred work on the planet, which is to write and to speak. So those are the tattoos so far.
All right. So I'm in a moment going to give everybody the information about your Sacred University course. Tell us about that. Your course that's coming up that's going to start soon on witches, herbs, rituals, and magic, based on your Common Sentience book.
Yes. So Ariel Patricia reached out to me and she says, "Hey, let's make a course based on the book because I just love the book so much." And I said, "Sure, yes, let's do it. Let's make the course." And so we got together and we came up with the syllabus for the course and what it was going to be named and what was going to be in the course. And we created it. So for the last few weeks, we've been cooking this up in the cauldron, and now it is ready. So it was just launched, and it was just launched in perfect timing because inside the course, I give you about 30 herbs to start your apothecary. I give you rituals in the course is the Hyros Gamos ritual, which is the divine union of masculine and feminine powers together within yourself. And then I also take you inside my sacred space and show you how I prepare step by step for the ritual of the dumb supper. So that if you wanted to see everything that I do when I prepare for the ritual of the dumb supper, you can see it all right in my sacred space. And it's very intimate, and I loved sharing all this information. I love talking about the broom and the witch's broom and what it means and tarot and these ancient rituals that have been with us, with humans, for thousands of years. So, this is a really, really, really unusual course. And it's a course that I think people will love. And whether you want to be a witch or not, it really is more teaching us about how to live in harmonious accord with the seasons and cycles of nature. That's ritual living. Many of our forebears, they had rites of passage. When a woman became a crone, she was elevated. When a baby was born, there were rites and rituals for the baby. There were rituals for the naming of the baby and presenting the baby to the community. There were rites of passage when young girls became women and when young men became boys. And right now, our society, I believe, we are calling out for a return to our rituals which grounded us and rooted us in nature and the cycles of life. Those cycles of life that we live on, the cycles of the sun, the moon, that we really live and thrive on. And coming back into harmony with that will really help us in a world where tech has taken over and AI is taking over, and I use tech and AI every day, so I'm not against any of those. I just know that in a world where there is a lot of tech, calls for us even more to anchor in what's true and what's real, and that's in nature.
Beautiful. Well, I really am imagining that some of our global peace tribers are going to want to take your course, and it's so inexpensive. Special launch price only $88, but you got to do that this week. That's only good through November 1st. So, Wayne. So definitely go in. I've put the link into the chat box. And you can, again, also learn all about Valerie by going to courses.sacredstories.com. You can find it there. Or go to her website, ValerieLove.com. ValerieLove.com. And that's where you will find all things Kaisi, also known as Valerie Love, the author, rebel, teacher, and keeper of the flame. There's a lot here. She's also got some really fun events coming up, and she talked about the Feast of the Dead. She's actually going to be doing one on Friday night. So if I guess if you tune in, it says details coming soon. So keep coming back to ValerieLove.com to find out about it. And here's what our beloved Connie Gregg talked about. The Zoom for Bali in Egypt happening on Sunday. So lots going on, and definitely what a joy to meet you. So many of our people in our chat box have talked about how much they appreciate you and have enjoyed what you've shared. So thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Scott, for the invitation. And I do count it as synchronicity that here we are,
11 years later.
to the day.
Well,
Yes.
I look forward to seeing you a lot sooner than 11 years from now.
For
But
sure.
it's going to be fascinating. The next 11 years are going to be very, very interesting, aren't they?
Mm.
Well, stick around because we're going to now bring back this beautiful couple, Renee and Havala. Welcome back. So you had a little chance to take in what Kaisi was sharing and Jeff's magic. And you're going to now lead us on an experience.
Yes, this is the time. So I invite everyone to sit with your spine upright. Do your best to have your feet on the ground and your hands and feet uncrossed, hands and legs uncrossed. And before we turn in, I'm going to sing a song. It's actually the first song that came to me in nature. I'll share that with you all now. And it is a kind of a tuning in song to get us listening inside. So I think, yeah, you could. I do want to honor this drum for a moment. This drum was purchased by a Native American brother, Andrew, and he blessed it and us. And when he was blessing us in this drum, he saw this whole vision of me working with the whales, the sounds of the whales and other creatures. It just came really strong for him. So I do want to mention that there's a song that came to me around 2020 for peace, and it's going to involve all the sounds of all the creatures of the earth. So if you happen to have a recording of whales or other animals of the sea, air, or land, and you want to share that with me as a possibility to add to the track, I'll be performing these songs live on stages, but also recording it. The goal for me is that every voice of every creature is sung at the same time in this song. So, but for now, we're going to do the tuning in. So let's take a deep breath in and release. And a second deep breath in and release. And I invite you all to sing along once you hear the song, but stay muted because that works better with Zoom. And release. Listen to the wind blowing through the trees. Listen to the sound of the mother's heartbeat. Listen to the wind blowing through the trees. Listen. I am here in your heart, nestled here in your soul. I am here in your heart, Listen to the wind blowing through the trees. Listen to the sound of the mother's heartbeat. Listen to the wind blowing through the trees. Listen. I am here in your heart, nestled here in your soul. I am here in your heart, nestled here. Listen, listen, listen. Eyes closed and following the sound of the heartbeat now. With your mind's eye and your eyes closed, turn within, trusting whatever arises is meant to be that which is arising. So accept, embrace, and include this journey as you go to meet with an ancestor. And this may be someone you know, someone you recognize, or it may be an ancestor from long ago. Whoever comes is the right one. And so before we begin our journey, simply think of a question that you seek guidance on, or perhaps a challenge or a pattern that you want healing around, or clarity. Formulate what it is that you want to ask the ancestor. Take a moment. And once you know, just hold on to that. And wait a few more minutes. Okay, and now you're going to take this question with you in your heart, trusting that it will come at the right moment to be asked, and if that or something even better will arise with your connection with your ancestor. So now begin with your inner eye to walk down a path, a beaten path in the beautiful summer has given now to fall. And so this path you walk upon is sacred land, earth, walking through trees filled with the colors of orange and red and yellow. The autumn leaves are falling, gently falling. As you continue to walk down the path, you make your way into the deep depths of the forest now. And you find yourself coming to a tree. And in the tree there is a hole. And you are just the right size to step into this hole. And as you do, you find yourself walking down cobblestone steps. They are cool and a little damp, just like that earth, moist earth scent is all around. And your feet feel the cool stones, bare feet as you step down, one step at a time, going deeper, down, down, down until you find yourself at the bottom of the stairs. You're facing a door. This door is a door to the ancestor who is waiting on the other side to meet you to guide you, perhaps to answer a question or share something important that needs to be told. You take your hand to the doorknob and slowly open. Step into the room, and you find yourself in a space with another. The sacred ancestor is here, redeemed, ascended, here to communicate with you, to bring you the information that you seek. You can ask your question now, and simply be still and allow whatever answer comes, whether it's through words, images, or a deep knowing. So now begin to slowly thank them. Any final communication can happen now. Give thanks. And slowly begin to bring yourself back. First, you say goodbye. They stay where they are. And you leave that room, closing the door behind you. Reversing your steps, bringing yourself back to the bottom of that staircase. And with each step up the stone staircase, you bring yourself back up, 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 all the way up to the top of the staircase. Now you're still inside of the tree. You see the light from the hole. You step through the hole of the tree back out onto the dirt path. Turn around and face the tree, thanking this tree for this sacred portal. The sacred portal that connected you to your ancestor. You can come back here anytime you choose. So now turning away, your back is now to the tree as you begin to walk the path back through the dense forest to the edge of the forest, walking along this path, this worn path with your bare feet, seeing the beautiful red, orange, and yellow leaves filling the sky, the trees, and falling softly at your feet. Continuing to make your way all the way back to the very beginning of the path, and now you are fully back in your body temple. Begin to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. If you have anything you would like to share, you can put that into the chat box. If you have a message, any questions. We thank the ancestors for being with us today, for communicating with us. We thank them and we bless them. For without you, we would not be. Thank you. Thank you, all the sacred ancestors who have come today, who have blessed us and this gathering. And for all those who are watching the replay, this magic reaches through all time and space and holds you and your prayers, your visions, and your connections with your ancestors forever in this sacred space. And so it is. Blessed be.
So beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome back, everyone.
Well, I'm gonna read the comments as they come in, and I also, of course, want to go to your websites so we can learn more about all of your offerings. Susan Blomquist writes, "Wow, well, that worked. I met my great grandmother from Aberdeen, a great healer, and she will remain with me."
Wow.
Carol Craig writes, "Love that meditation. The heartbeat of the drum is so deeply satisfying, and it quickly let me go inside easily." Ah-ho!
Oh,
Dr. Laura writes, lots of people comments coming. This is great. Dr. Laura writes, "I really received some great advice about where to move from my aunt and two of my friends. Thank you to all of them."
oh wow.
Eleanor Joy writes, no message, but I went deep and I feel very much at peace. Andrea writes, my grandmother Agnes and grandfather Bob, Father John, and Uncle Bill were all there behind a round red door. I cried a lot because it's been a rough for me these last few years. They comforted me and cheered me on, but I think just being held while I cried and being with them was healing. They're with me. Thank you. Susan writes, yes, great gratitude. She wanted to connect with me for some time. So some really beautiful experiences that you've helped provide some of our global peace drivers here.
So fantastic. I'm so glad that everyone had a good experience. And yeah, I mean, sometimes it's not a message, it's just it's an energetic exchange.
Yeah.
So all of those experiences are valid in whatever form they unfold.
Let's take a look at how people can get more of your offerings. I'm going to start by going to Renee's website. It's a beautiful name for a website, magicalintelligence.com. Magicalintelligence.com. I am accepting your cookies, Renee.
Oh, great.
And remember, he's a Qigong guy. And so he's offering a complimentary Qigong consultation. I might take you up on that, actually. I've always been interested about Qigong. So if you just go to magicalintelligence.com/info, then click here for your, and that's where you go to his calendar and you can book a free consultation. I'm going to take you up on that. I'm going to go do that.
Yeah, yes, yes. Great.
So thank you. That's a very, very wonderful offering. Thank you.
I will say that Renee has, he's an incredible teacher. And he has seen witches have particular specific health issues that can happen from being a magician. And so he has created a whole program, a package, I guess, for witches that are having some, and it's also for healers and energy workers.
Yes,
right?
yeah. Yeah, there's a section called Magical Qigong, magical with the K, and it's Qigong that's designed, of course I teach Qigong to anybody that needs it, but in my 30 years of experience, I've met many practitioners that will have health issues, whether it's edema or whether it's, arthritis, and they're still doing magic, but they're still having some imbalances, and so I put together a program to help alleviate that and to pump up their energy so that they have extra amount of energy for their rituals. So yeah, so that's one of the services that I do.
So I'm going to go back to your website. Maybe you can show us, where do we find that?
So go back to my the front page there. There
we go.
Scroll down, and you should see my book there, right where it says Magical Qigong.
Right.
And just click on that, and that should go to my website. Oh wait! Oh, drop down. There we go.
There we go.
And this is the Magical Qigong that I do for witches and healers and magicians specifically. So I teach different two types of people, non-magical people as well as magical people. So this is a service that I do also for all of that. So
wonderful.
Every Friday, Saturday, my advanced class is Monday, and then there's Tai Chi, and then we look at the various traditional witchcraft rituals, and we find ways to weave in the traditional Qigong from the Eastern tradition into the rituals so that the people can get the most amount of energy. I also have a restore and flow system that I do. That's Qigong for the hips. If you're having hip issues, that's a 10-week, 11 video course. You get a free video with that.
Wow.
So yeah.
And just to say, these are all Zoom classes.
Yeah.
So easy. You can just get up, put on your video, and be at an exercise class.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, and now let's take a look at Havilah. So this is her website, and it's goddessheartcoaching.mycanva.site. And I'll put that in the chat box again. But kind of tell us a little bit about your form of coaching and what demographic group you enjoy most working with.
Sure. Well, as it says here on my Goddess Heart Mastermind, I work especially with women artists and entrepreneurs. I'm open to working with any women that are looking for ancestral healing experience. I start with the Healing Essentials coaching package for people that are new and feel that they do need some healing attention first, straight off the bat. But I also offer these kind of one-off services that you can get sound healing. I do song circles for events or for private groups, and also do essential oil healings or a VIP day in nature with the songs that have come to me from nature as part of this great crossroads experience where if you need to get out, like get on with it and completely put something behind you, it's a really great opportunity to just shift something very powerful and have a big energy shift and clearing with the VIP days. But with the mastermind, that's really for women who want to spend a good, strong, focused 6 months starting in January this next year, and with a chance to continue on for the rest of the year. And that's really for women artists. Oftentimes it's speakers, singers, and writers, people that are working with their voices. I do a lot of energetic clearing of the vocal cords and ancestral healing that may also be affecting our ability to speak up in this lifetime. So there's those elements, but there's also a lot of accountability and celebration for women going after their goal, their big dream project, or maybe it's a major entrepreneurial goal or creative project that you just haven't put enough energy, focused time towards, and you need a container that's going to keep you accountable and in action so that you're finally really creating that legacy of like your unique frequency, your unique creation in the world. I say frequency because often we're using our voice, whether we're entrepreneurs just sharing about what we're doing or we're literally singing, speaking, or writing. We're using our voice all the time. And so I really am passionate about helping people feel excited about expressing themselves and free. And so that's where the healing work oftentimes comes in to play.
Well, God bless both of you. What a dynamic duo you are. An amazing, beautiful couple.
Thank you.
And you've blessed us in so many ways tonight. I'm going to bring up your other compatriot for the evening, our wonderful Kaisi. There she is. I just want to take a moment to thank all three of you for the gifts of your wisdom and the gifts of your lifelong service to educating and inspiring others. Thank you, all three of you. And I sure hope all three of you will come back and be on the show again sometime.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it would be amazing.
And I just want to say thank you, Scott, for inviting us on this evening. It's very, very special to have us come and share our gifts with everybody. And thanks everybody for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a huge, for me specifically, I was watching at 2020, I was watching your shows every Saturday because for me, the people that this show speaks to are my people. And so I felt connected and not alone and like in the boat with you all. And so what an incredible experience to then get to come and share and show people who we are too. So thank you.
That means a lot to me. That's wonderful. Thank you. And Carol Craig says it all. She says, thank you so much, all of you. This was another fantastic show. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, shoot, I just remembered one thing. On this Sunday at 11 a.m., I'm offering a free event. It's on my Facebook page, so you can look up Havala Collins, or you can just email me at transforminglivesdaily@gmail.com, and I'll get you the details. But basically, it's about self-expression, and we'll be doing some vocal clearing work.
So yeah, if you go, for those of you on Facebook, hey, look at there's our show. So Facebook.com, and then you put in her name, Havala, HAVALAH. And that's where you'll find her. And you can see what we did tonight. And there's our friend Patrick McCullum.
I think that's one, if you scroll back up for 1 second and you just click on, down a little bit, sorry. And you click on the one on the right, go down a little bit more, the picture there, that one of me smiling at the camera that says see all photos. Try clicking on that. There is the information to the right.
And I'm going to put this in the chat box. Of course, most people watching are not in the Zoom room, but for those of you in the Zoom room, there it is. And beautiful.
Oh, Scott, one more thing. If people are interested in getting my music, I do have a music site, reneecollinsmusic.com, and it's I put it in there as well, so people can check that out as well.
Between Kaisi's 23 books, websites, music, books, I mean, all three of you are quite extraordinary, getting a lot of good information out to the world in wonderful ways. So there's where you can get, and we all enjoyed your music so much tonight. It was wonderful. So thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I want to encourage people that the show is not over because we still have something very, very important to do. Here on the Global Peace Tribe, we celebrate birthdays of our most beloved members. And Diara's birthday is coming up. And of course, of all the birthdays, which day do you think would be hers? October 31st. So I'm going to bring up your colleague here, Desiree, who's already moving and grooving. And I want to encourage you, Diara, as you know by now, what we'd like to do is have you share with the audience your vision for this new cycle around the sun, and for all of us to hold that vision for her. So tap into your inner Christ consciousness, your inner Mary Magdalene, whatever your high vibe way of blessing another is, while we listen to Diara's vision for her new cycle around the sun starting on Saturday.
Thank you, Scott. I'd like to bring Karen in too. Her birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, I did not know that. So thank you.
And she's wearing her beautiful tiara, her birthday tiara.
There's Karen. We love Karen.
Our beloved sister Karen, also a songstress.
Why don't you, Diara, share your vision first, and then we'll have Karen share hers.
Absolutely. This has been such a rich adventure. All the souls that are here with us. I've been rocking the whole show, staying grounded because it's just so potent. And that's what I wish for all of us this coming year, that we have more magic, more love, more peace, and that we release our concept of what that looks like, what that means, to allow the great mystery, the great spirit to bring that in, to provide for us greater than we could ever even imagine. And calling that back in, learning to receive, to give to self as well. And I'm just so blessed and grateful to be here. Thank you, Scott, and everyone.
Maximum grace for Diara and your journey around the sun. May this next year bring you fulfillment in all sorts of wonderful, magical ways. You and your buck and your dear family. And we love you very much, Diara.
Thank you, Scott.
And Karen S., what is your what vision can we hold for you, dear friend?
I just am grateful to make it this far. My mother died I'll be 70 tomorrow, and she passed 3 months before she was about to turn 70. So I'm just it's been really on my mind all year. So I just am looking forward to another 70 in good health, and I'm just grateful to be still alive and in pretty good health, and just able to have, I just want to see the world, just do what I can to help see the world be a better place.
So maximum grace for you. I'll also be 70 in December.
Yeah.
So we're very similar age. Maximum grace for our beloved Karen. And in her vision, Karen, I know, has a deep love for the planet, a deep love for truth and justice. And may your vision and that pure vision that I know you hold, Karen, be fulfilled, regardless of what chaos might be going on in the world. May that chaos end in a way that you can smile and feel good about. Because I know that if you feel good about the way things are going in the direction they should be going. So thank you. And I am going to keep the spotlight on Diara and Desiree for to close us out with an evening prayer.
Hey, Scott, maybe I'll just add in here that it's also my birthday.
Oh my gosh, who's there?
Trisha, 69 tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, we're about.
I don't really have a lot to say, but I just didn't want to be, I wanted to be included. Thank you.
Well, Trisha, same thing. What's your vision for this next year? And thank you for having the courage to speak up, and thank you for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be here. Just grateful to be here, and I see more awakening and you know, cleansing and detoxing and adding you know, being part of the raising consciousness and the oneness that's coming for humanity. Thank you for including me.
Well, thank you, Trisha. We're grateful for, I know you're on almost every show. You're one of the first people to come to the Zoom room. So I always appreciate that, Trisha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. It's been such an amazing night. I appreciate each one of our guests and all the birthdays we have this month. Super exciting. So the message I'm really getting today is to tap into some of that ancestral energy and bring about some of that healing from our ancestors and that strength from our ancestors. So that's what I'd like to do today. So let's go ahead and take a nice big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. For our ancestors over many lifetimes, as you stand before us, there's deep gratitude within my heart. As we're together as one, we can feel the divine light flowing down over us, as if it is a hug from you. As we're grateful, as you hold us every day, lifetime after lifetime. We come together as one, asking to receive what is in our highest good to receive at this time. As the veils are thin, we bring in the strength of our ancestors. We bring in the knowledge of our ancestors. And we raise to new heights. As we come together as one, we are strengthened. And we are grateful. Thank you.
And we send this prayer out to generations to come, to all those in conceptual form and beyond that. We send this blessing out, this love, so that this full cycle and circle of life, ancestral love, that the healing continues with every new birth, every new gleam, every new breath. And on this day, we say, so it is, and so.
Beautiful. And so it is. So it is. Well, thank you very much, Desiree, Diara. Happy birthday, Diara. And we always let people know what's coming up next. We have a big show this Saturday night, celebrating this wonderful organization, Solstice Unites, from ceremony to song. And look at all the amazing people we're going to have. John and Summer Raymer, Patricia Ann Davis, Chief Dwayne Perry, Charles Betterton, Tamsin Woolley Barker, Harry Ovigi, and Cornflower. And I know that everybody loves Cornflower, and he's going to rock and roll us. So that's going to be happening this Saturday night, big show. And we got some really fun stuff planned. John Raymer is co-hosting, and co-creating it with me, and we've got some really fun stuff planned. So please make sure you join us on Saturday night. No Omar song tonight. I think we got plenty of wonderful music from Renee and Havala, and lots of magic. I'm going to go to gallery review one last time. So thank you again, Kaisi and Renee and Havala, and all of our Global Peace Drivers, and all of you watching the recording, watching on Facebook, YouTube. God's blessings. And now let's all prepare over the next few days to use the tools we've learned tonight to tune in and connect with our beloveds on the other side. Good night, everyone.